Hi, family. Hi, YouTube fam. How is everybody doing this beautiful Wednesday? The weather was actually beautiful this evening, or all day actually. It was sunny and it wasn't as cold, no snow. So that was lovely. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, I didn't make it yesterday, so I finally made it today. Yesterday was just not a good day. My daughter wasn't feeling well, and I got off of work really late. So I said, let me just come on tonight instead. So sometime periodically, my days will change depending on what's going on. But I hope everybody's doing well. And you can see from the title, when the narcissists meet his match. Um, Interesting, as you can see from my picture. Fascinating. Um, so let's get into it, guys. Um, from many videos that I've watched and seen about the new supply, because I know in the beginning for me it was hard. Like I literally stalked her. I mean, there was many of them, but this one in particular, I knew of her because something in my spirit. I went through his phone, and normally I didn't go because I trusted him. Like he couldn't do no wrong. I think somebody could have probably came to me and said we saw him on top of somebody, and I wouldn't believe it because my whole thing was I got to see it for myself. My intuition told me everything, but of course I didn't trust my own intuition. So something just said at that time I just had my daughter a couple of months, and there were a lot of, you know, that time he was transitioning and wanting to leave, but it started prior of just lies and making up a whole bunch of stuff. So he was making his exit, let's just say, with allegations of voodoo. My family is doing voodoo to him, and he can't eat, he can't sleep. So I believed it, y'all. I did, to the point where I was helping him look for a place to live because my whole thing was I loved you enough that if my parents or my family was doing something to him, I figured I love you enough to let you go. Let's get divorced. And prior, before I was pushing for divorce too, because we were really having difficulties in conceiving. So if anyone know the African culture, and I think it's every culture, there's this pressure. Because he was here, I don't even think it matters. You could get married and the next day they want to know, are you pregnant? So he was here for a couple of years and it still was difficult. We weren't conceiving, and I know what that is like back home. If you are, because in my culture you can marry up to four wives. So, and I wasn't down with that. I grew up with that, and that was not for me. So I just kept telling him, maybe we should get divorced and you should go ahead and marry somebody who can, you know, that you all can conceive together. But eventually, we did get pregnant and I had a miscarriage. But once he got the green card, of course, he got greedy. He could have left with the green card and our daughter would have never been here. But he wanted the whole thing. He wanted the citizenship. So we actually applied for the citizenship. We actually did it too early. And we got a letter saying we were doing it too early. So I think a year later, we had tried again and In the process of trying to get his citizenship, that's when the whole lies of your family's doing voodoo and I can't eat, I can't sleep. But we'll talk about that later. Okay. So the new supply, like I said, there were many of them, many. But I think she was the main one. And I will probably consider, even though I was the wife, I would probably consider myself to be the side chick, if that makes sense. Because there was no love, there was no intimacy, there was no like to even lead to love. There was really nothing. I think most of the time was spent on her, and I was obsessed after the fact once it came to light who she was and all of that. I would, and I know many people redo it, but if you can, please, guys, try not to go into social media and look the person up and try to see who they were. I mean, who they are. Like it's not going to add to your healing at all. I've done it, and I should have not have done it. And I'm the type of person, like, I'm OCD. Once I wrap my mind around something, like, I gotta keep doing it to the point where I was just obsessed, like looking up. I guess I paid like $10, or I forgot the amount. I think it was like 20 something dollars to look at her background. Like, it doesn't matter. I really didn't really like the guy myself, but it was just the whole betrayal and wanting to know who is this person. And but prior, before the whole stalkation, I picked up his phone because he was sleeping in the couch, because remember, it's voodoo. He can't eat, he can't sleep. So he hasn't been sleeping in the bedroom with me. He would sleep on the couch because he said whatever the voodoo makes him wants to hurt me. So he couldn't be around me. So he was asleep on the couch, and I just felt that, like, I just want to go through his phone. Went through the phone, and I saw a text between the two of them that was very suspicious. Needless to say, like, I'm trying to call you, you didn't pick up. We playing miss phone tags, and this was like 6 o'clock in the morning, six something in the morning. Called, and she picked up. Hello. And I'm like, hello. And I said, what is between you and my husband? And she said, you need to ask him what we are. That was her response to me. Response. I can't even say the word right. And I remember one of my girlfriends was saying, with that kind of response, because she used to talk to a married guy, and she said the same thing to the wife. So with that type of answer that she gave me, she had to have known about me. I said, okay. And like I said, she was on the phone, and I remember, I guess he heard me talking, and he walked in the room. I think I remember she said, matter of fact, and I'm like, matter of fact, what? I think that's when he walked in the room, and I threw the phone. I threw the phone, and he picked up and apologized to her. Not to me. To this day, I've never gotten an apology. And it's going 8 years, because our daughter will be 8 next month. And that day, because remember, he's been planning to leave anyways. Um, and it should have been obvious. Like, even throughout my pregnancy, it was just, I was so depressed, so down, because that was the time with the whole voodoo thing. He can't eat, he can't sleep. And I'm worrying about that, you know. And looking back now, is just, I really couldn't comprehend really much. It's like, yeah, he has to leave, but I really didn't think how that was gonna affect, me. Like, you're gonna be a single mom. Like, I didn't think that far. Um, so I was really like a walking zombie. And mind you, I'm pregnant. So I'm dealing with that, and I'm dealing with the news of having a child with Down syndrome. I didn't know what to make of that. What does that mean? How is that going to change anything? So thank God for friends, family that really gave me that support, because he really wasn't into the pregnancy. Of course, it makes sense now, because that was not what he came here for. He came here for a green card and citizenship. And now you're involving a baby in the mix. And I think a year before that, I had a miscarriage. So here I am, like, I had no joy with my pregnancy. He wasn't like a lovely dovey type of person, like, oh, we having a baby. There was nothing. At some point, I have to like even try to get him, like, oh, fill the baby. He didn't want no part. It makes sense. So eventually, of course, we separated, and heard, because his aunt is married to my uncle. So I would hear a lot of, she was a flying monkey in a way. I guess she was. And I really don't think she meant anything by it. Eventually, I heard him and that same person moved in together, um, living together. And the aunt would tell me, like, she went there for something. I think her son wanted to go there, like, one Ramadan Eid celebration. And she dropped the son off, and he's living with his sister-in-laws, I guess, if you want to call them. Two of her sisters were living there with them, and with cats and cats. And later I would hear, oh, her mom and her mom's husband were living with them. So just even when I was stalking, really, that's what I was doing, to try to find out who this person was, because she seemed like she was inspired to be a model, or she is a model. Beautiful girl, but I mean, when you first, going through that experience, of course, you don't want to admit that the person is beautiful. You want to deem them, because it's like, oh, why they did this. And of course, she never really said anything in the conversation we had, besides, you need to ask them where we are, or matter of fact, that's all she said. And the rest was me texting her, like, you know, good luck. And sending a picture of him that I found of when he went to his dad's funeral, and taking pictures with one other girl. And I heard he slept with many girls. And I'm like, sending her the picture, like, whenever he goes to Ghana, make sure you go with him, that type of thing. Um, and of course, later, just stalking him, because we weren't friends. Unfriend him. And it's imperative, guys. And I didn't even know what I was doing, because I wasn't into the videos, like, on YouTube, like I am now, with recovery from narcissistic type of relationship, when you leaving, like, the whole no contact. I really couldn't do no contact, because we have a child together. But even in the beginning, like, our wedding album, trashed it. The whole album, trashed it. I think I only kept, like, pictures that were only of me in the picture. Um, Everything else, I trashed it. And I didn't hear anybody saying, like, that's what you need to do, but I knew, like, this is what I have to do. Get rid of all of that. Um, so trash the album, our wedding video, I trashed that too. Like, I wasn't playing anything that has him in there. Like, and I remember some friends were like, you should have kept it for your daughter. Like, why? The whole thing was fake. Keep it for what? So they moved in together. They lived together for a while. And like I said, I will get the information from his aunt. This is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. But just even in stalking her, which I don't recommend anybody to do, like I said, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. Like, I didn't make my vows to her at the end of the day. I didn't. My vows was with him. So I think as women or even men, it's hard. It's easier said than done. When you're in that situation, it's hard because you want, to rage and be pissed and want somebody to pay. But I never met her to this day, besides stalking her on Instagram. She had an Instagram page, and I think she had a site on like pictures of her modeling her, I guess, clothing or whatever. We never met to this day. And they've been together probably almost 10 years. I think they've probably been, well, I know they've been together a lot longer than our marriage, the total of our marriage. And it hurts. I mean, even though I didn't like him, he wasn't my type, all of that. It's just the betrayal of you hurt me and now you moved on and you happy. And really, that's where the title of this channel comes from. Because going from that rage and wanting vengeance, in the end, to this day, I still feel sorry for him, how everything turned out. Supposedly, they're not together, which you don't know what to believe because narcissistic people lie so much. You know what I mean? So the story was he got tired. He felt like she was using him. Um, where they lived, I think he was telling the babysitter who took care of our daughter that he was paying the rent. I think it was like 2 bedroom, 2 bath or something. And he was the only one paying the rent and just got tired of it. Couldn't do it anymore. Like she was taking advantage of him. Um, I remember one time I went to his Facebook. Like I said, we're not friends, but just curious. I heard a story about something he posted on his Facebook, and I'm like, let me go there and looked. And of course, I remember seeing all the pictures of them together. They've traveled to Canada, Thailand, all lovey-dovey, and he has pictures of her smiling. They having dinner. They're living their best lives. And of course, it hurts to see that because I'm like, I bought this Negro here. And they traveling, having fun. We didn't do that. We didn't do none of that. You know what I mean? And it hurt. Not anymore. Not anymore. It hurt. And it was funny because I will look at his Facebook profile. Don't do that, guys. Don't do it. Because it just made me feel worse. You know what I mean? Because this guy is horrible. Like they don't mean well. They never loved you. It was just you were just the mean, an end to a mean. That's what I was. He wanted America. So you're going to get me America. If I got to take advantage of you, use you, abuse you, manipulate you, whatever. But then in the end, I still have to take accountability because he didn't tie me up. He didn't, hold me by gunpoint and say, do it. I did it knowing something was off and I didn't follow that God speaking to me. I don't want to listen because I wanted what I wanted. But just going through the Facebook and just seeing how happy they were. And of course, I will see the same pictures of them. And then the pictures that you see the same clothing she had on, but it's just by herself on her Instagram page. And I remember just looking like something don't seem right. Even her writing seemed so dark, like there was something off about her. And I remember thinking, is it because I'm jealous or why am I feeling this way? But something was off. And I don't think it was just you, I'm just being jealous or whatever. Something was off. In her Instagram posts, Facebook, nothing showing like she's in a relationship with anybody. Anybody, not just even him, anybody. And you seen pictures of them celebrating. Everything is on his post on Facebook, and everybody in Ghana, commenting on his picture. Oh, they love you. Look lovely together. Oh, she's beautiful. Blah blah blah. And she's not showing nothing. I'm like, what is? You live together. Unless she's just posting everything about her, business and her. I'm trying to make sense of it. It just didn't make sense. And I'm like, there's something not right with this picture. Something wasn't right. This is your boyfriend, your man, you live together, and you don't have anything to show that you guys are an item. And I remember my brother told me one time, like, they had gone to a Ramadan celebration and she blew up. I wasn't there. He was there with her because it's, they celebrating or whatever. And everybody knew we weren't together. It wasn't, and they said she had to excuse herself and go talk to somebody. And I'm like, oh, okay. But it wasn't until I like I said, I don't know if they're not together, but from what he's telling his aunt, they're not together, which I don't believe, because he literally met his match. And I think I was trying to tell the story and I think I lost track. But I went on his Facebook profile when he went back home to Ghana. And I remember looking at his picture and I'm like, wait, what? He looks skinny. This is a guy like that was what one of my attraction, like muscular, like ripped, six pack. He probably had 10 packs. Okay. Now he was like, it was weird. And I remember looking at the picture, shaking my head, like, what? He was stressed from living with somebody. Mind you, he was complaining about how he couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep because of voodoo. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Vengeance is God's to do, not for us. Because I'm looking at the picture and I can't believe what I was looking at. He was stressed out. Apparently, she was, she had family issues. They were calling 911. The neighbors will call 911 on them because the mom would get drunk and fight with the husband all kinds of craziness. They will call 911 on the mom because she was having health issues. And at one point, the daughter, which is his girl, went and told the mom, like, you're not welcome in our home anymore, because she couldn't take, all the drama between the mom and her husband. I think that wasn't her dad. I think it was her stepdad. And this is all the stuff I'm hearing. But then when you look at his Facebook profile, you think he's living his best life. He ain't telling people this woman is a nightmare. It took for me, which I don't do anymore, guys. Don't do it. Don't do what I did, because I was a stalker. I'm trying to, what are you seeing? It's done. It's done. And like I said in my previous videos, like my best friend telling me, God remove people out of your life. I didn't want to hear it. And it's true, because I would have not left, even though I knew this wasn't the guy for me. I wasn't in love with him. Long distance relationship, unless you've known each other before the long distance happened, I wouldn't recommend doing a long distance relationship with anybody that you never lived with. Even though we grew up together, I've been in the state almost 30 years. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know his character. And all of a sudden, you just talking on the phone. That's what we did. And then playing Beyonce, Crazy in Love. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I met my soulmate. I have no idea who that person was, and didn't know who I was. He didn't know who I was either. So this man was living hell. So, like I said, don't look at the Facebook, don't look at the Instagram, don't stalk the other person. Don't do it. I've done it, and I'm telling you, it's not worth it. I was just making myself sick. Just watching how happy. Oh my God, look, they're so happy. Who cares? They looked happy, but the man was living hell. But you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know it from the pictures on Facebook. So he met his match to the point where he has to lie to the girl, apparently just to leave, like break his, I guess, maybe his lease was over and now she got to find her way. And he has to find his way. So what you would see when you do go look, it could be a whole lie. Because me watching it and being pissed, like how happy he was. Yeah, they went on vacation. They probably fought the whole time. Who knows? And maybe they didn't. But telling people he was going to marry this person, now to telling everybody she used them. That was like the main supply. She was the main one because they lived together. Everybody else, he was just effing. Because one is never enough. So right now he's married to somebody back home. And I remember when I found out he was still with the main chick or the main girl. And I remember, I don't know why I care. I really don't know why I cared. I remember calling him because of from what I've heard about her personality, how she can go off. I called him and I said to him, like, look, you need to be careful. If you really gonna be with her, be with her. Like, if you're gonna leave her, leave. Because if she finds out that you married to somebody in Ghana, and they've been together almost 10 years. She was thinking he's going to marry her. Now you're not together. And then you're married to somebody else back home. I said, you got to be careful, because if she finds out, she could probably kill you. For the sake of our daughter, like, you got to tread lightly. Now I'm warning him about getting killed when I wanted to do it my damn self back in the day. I'm glad I didn't, because it's not worth it. Whatever it is, just give it to God. This too shall pass. And sitting here and doing this video, I never thought I would be here, sitting here, doing anything for that matter. If I would have let my rage and my anger overtake me, I would have been in jail. And our daughter would have no father and a mother sitting in jail because she let her anger get the best of her. It's not worth it. So for somebody who betrayed me, deceived me, all of that, I deceived myself too. Because when the truth is facing you, you gotta see it for what it is. Don't make it to be something that it ain't. Accept it for what it is. So now I'm telling him, like, be careful that she doesn't find out that you marry somebody back home. He gets off the phone and all you can say is thank you. Like, okay. So I say all of that to say, don't focus on who they with. It don't matter. Like, God gave you a way out, whether you did the discard or they did the discard. In my case, I don't know how to explain it, because he started out, I guess, trying to find a better way to leave the situation by adding on more lies as far as the whole voodoo is concerned. But the day that I called and found out who she was, I told him, get out, because he was already planning to get out. I remember he told me, I had our daughter, but before I had our daughter, I had complications. I was in the hospital for like almost a week before she came. So I had cesarean, and I was there, I think, 3 more days, and I was like just tired of the hospital. Like, I want to go home. But with my daughter, Down syndrome diagnosed, like, I think she had problem eating. So they kept her in a NICU. And I remember, I think it was Sunday, and I called him. I'm like, they said I can go. Can you come and pick me up? And he said, well, he's fixing somebody's car at his aunt's house, so he couldn't. Thank God my best friend was over there that day. And I remember she was mad, like, come on, I'll take you. And I came home while my daughter was still in the hospital in the NICU. So I came home. The house was a mess because he's been cooking and bringing it over to me in the hospital. And I remember while we were going to bed, I saw my daughter's crib and I just started crying, like, I have a baby, and the baby's not home with me. And this is how cold a narcissist can be. Like, they don't care you just gave birth to their child and you destruct. And mind you, he didn't bring me home. My best friend did, because he was too busy fixing somebody else's car. So I'm crying like, oh my God, I don't have my baby at home with me. So this is a time that this Negro gets up and said the voodoo got worse, and by the end of May, I'm gonna have to leave. And I remember just crying again, thinking this has got to be some kind of African movie. It wasn't. It wasn't. So in the midst of my pain and anguish, like he didn't even have mercy. He didn't have grace, none to show me, because once he was done, he got what he needed. That was it. He's done. That's it. Forget your feelings, forget your emotions. If it wasn't by the grace of God, I shouldn't be sitting here saying. So when I say vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, I mean that. And I'm giving God all his glory, all of it. So y'all, don't look at the Facebook, don't look at the Instagrams and thinking they having their best life, because you can't do somebody dirty and you're gonna be living like nothing. It's gonna come back to you. So a narcissist met another narcissist, because I believe she is. She used him for everything that he got. So, guys, I can't stress that enough. Get off the Facebook, get off Instagram. It's not going to do you any good. I've done it. And I'm telling you, as somebody who was stalking both of them and try to see what they're doing, like, it's not going to add on to you. Your job is to get therapy, stay prayed up. That's number one. Stay prayed up. Give it to God. Do therapy. Surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with your family that love you. And there go Layla. You got to go to bed, Mama. That's important. And this too shall pass. Nothing lasts forever. We don't. So if we don't live forever, how do you think a situation will be forever? So if you don't remember anything that I said tonight, just remember that nothing lasts forever. Your situation is not going to be forever. It's only temporary. People have said that to me. My best friends have said that. You're going to look back at this and laugh. And I actually do. And because I'm not wicked and my heart is not evil, like, and I've heard a lot of people like the T on MPD, just say no to narc, and Pink Girl teaches on her videos, like it's a spiritual thing. And I remember when it first happened, I remember telling him, I said, "You a snake." And the best way to describe it was, I and I say to people, I said, I never met the devil before, but that's closest to the devil to me. When people can do certain things like that energy, that was Yeah, it's a spiritual thing. So I'm choosing to serve God and give my life to God. Other people have something that they give their life to, which is the devil, Satan, demon. Because you can't operate with God. You can't know and love God treating people like that. And you can sleep. You can't have it both ways. You gotta pick who you serve. So I would serve God broke, no broke. Like as long as you have that peace of mind, you can lay your head at night and know you're not hurting anybody, you're not deceiving anybody. That's all that matters. Is just treating people the way you want to be treated. So guys, remember the narcissist. So sometimes they don't meet another narc. In my situation, I think he met another narc. He did. He did. Because she was no joke. She was no joke. She gave him a run for his money. And I felt bad. I still feel bad for him. Because I don't glow in people's misery. In the beginning, I did. Like when I heard about everything that was going on with them and how, the in-law, his mom, the mother-in-law was living with them. Her two sisters I said, that's what he gets. You want to sit here and lie about you can't eat, you can't sleep, and now you really living miserable. And like I said, seeing his picture and how much weight he lost from stress. So one of my girlfriend speaks about this, the word like life and death is in the power of the tongue. It's no joke. You sat here and lied about my family, and now you probably lived it 10 times worse, making up stuff. So a lot of times they will meet other narcs, whether it's female or male narcs. And like I said, I feel so bad for men, like empath men, super empath men out there that have to deal with the narcissistic women. The narc, he deserved to me his match. He deserves it. But I don't think that changes them. Going through that doesn't change them. It's just they know better, like, oh, I can't. I gotta stay away when I see the sign, like, but they will continue to use other empaths. And we just gotta stay with God. No matter what they do to us, just focus on God, because this too shall pass. It's only temporary. So they do meet their match, y'all. And he met his for sure. Whether, he's still with her while he got his wife back home, who knows? I don't think he's celibate or whatever, waiting for his wife to get here. I don't think that's the story. Because they run out here in these streets, child. And that ain't none of our business. That's their life. Let them live it how they want to live it. So don't take anything personal. And like I say, once again, do not go on social media and stalk them. I've done it. It's not worth it because you make yourself more miserable, and you seeing something and you thinking, oh my God, why is he so happy? Why is he moved on? Blah, blah, blah. And it's a lie. because it was a lie. Eventually, it became a lie because all of that lovey-doveyness, he was in hell. But on Facebook, it looked otherwise. Like, wait, what? It was a lie, guys. And we know people that be stunting and all of that, it ain't what it is. If that's how you want to choose and live your life, being a lie, then so be it. That's not my portion. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Like, so yeah, the narc met his match, and that's just that. So, guys, just stay prayed up, get therapy, stay off social media and trying to stalk them and all of that. Don't do it. Don't do it. And do things that you love to do. You live your best life. Why are you wasting that energy looking after what they're doing? You do you. It took me a while, but I got there. I don't even have the desire to look like, I don't care what you're doing. How is that going to serve me? What is that going to bring to me? Nothing. Nothing. So focus on you, focus on your healing path, and it's going to take time, but you will get there. Trust me, you will get there. So, guys, thank you. I think I've gone long enough 47 minutes. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Thank you. So hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. All right. Thank you. Bye. Love you. Bye, guys. Bye. Layla said bye. You got to go to bed, Layla.